Hello friends. Today I'm going to tell you about a 2011 romantic comedy called How Much Do You Have? The movie begins with a girl named Ollie waking up next to her boyfriend Rick. She quickly runs to the bathroom to clean herself up. After waking up, Rick compliments Ollie and remarks that she always looks good in the morning. During breakfast, Ollie asks Rick to go to his sister Daisy's wedding with her, but the guy claims that this is too serious a step in their relationship. She obviously didn't want to hear that, which is why she gets angry and puts the guy out the door. When Ellie comes to work, her boss Roger informs the girls that she is going to be fired. It turns out that she is the only one who got laid off. An upset girl enters the subway with a box of her things. When she looks through the magazine, she discovers that the average number of lovers a woman has in her life is 10.5 men. Worried about this fact, Ellie decides to write a list of all the men she has slept with. The next day, Ollie goes to Daisy's wedding rehearsal. Having met with her mother, she knows something: they refuse to invite their father to the wedding. When I finish my list, I understand that I slept with 19 men. Having gone downstairs, Eli delivers his speech being in high spirits from alcohol. Whereupon she insults Daisy Edie's fiancé and breaks the dishes during the toast. In the evening, Ellie sits with her friends in a bar where she offers to play a game to find out how many men they have slept with. According to the results of the game, the girl discovers that she had the most lovers. When Allie's friends start telling Ellie that she's less likely to get married now, the girl insistently decides that the next guy she spends the night with will be the one. However, the next day, allies wake up in bed next to their former boss, Roger, who was also at the bar. Ellie is in a hurry to get dressed to call Daisy since she doesn't remember anything, but her sister informs her that Ellie spat on her when they tried to take her away from the bar. When Roger wakes up, Ellie tries to figure out how to get him out as soon as possible. Unexpectedly, a girl has to be sucked by the name of Colin who asks to borrow her phone since he cannot get into his apartment. Colin notices how Ellie does not skillfully reject Roger, so he decides to help the girl. As soon as Roger leaves Ollie's apartment, he notices a girl coming out of Colin's apartment. This one admits that he is hiding from her. After the girl leaves, Colin immediately returns to his home. Later, the sisters are tasting Daisy's wedding cake where Ellie notices a guy named Donald whom she once dated. The girl is very happy to see him and is surprised that he has lost so much weight and is already engaged. Ellie is embarrassed by their meeting and has to lie to get away from the conversation. She begins to understand that perhaps all her exes have become much better with age. At home, Ellie begins to look for her ex, but after drinking heavily, she loses consciousness. When she wakes up, she hears Colin talking to another girl for one night and goes out to ask him for help in finding his ex. However, the guy refuses to help because he believes that she herself is to blame for the fact that they left her. After some thought, Ellie runs into Colin's apartment and tricks him into taking him home. She then makes a deal with him in which, in exchange for his favor, she promises to help him avoid girls for one night. Colin agrees and takes a sandwich, and Ally hands him a list of her ex's names. After that, she meets with Daisy to help with choosing a wedding dress. When suddenly she receives a message from Colin in which he says that he found the Devon of one of her exes. They meet Colin at a bar where Dave works as a bartender. Ellie is disappointed in a guy who has never achieved anything in life and continues to work as a bartender like many years ago, so the girl decides to leave. Outside, they ask Colin why she doesn't want to sleep with him and assumes that it's because the girl doesn't want to increase the list of guys. However, Ellie thinks that no one else will look at her normally knowing about her love experience. Ellie wakes up the next morning to find that Colin is sleeping on her couch, and since he has a girlfriend at home now, he hides in her apartment until she leaves. He then tells her that he found one of her ex-Evans, but it turns out that he is already married and has children. Whole week Colin and Ellie are working on finding the rest of the exes. The girl decides to focus on Simon, who is going through a divorce and is selling his house, so Colin advises her to go and see house to arrange a chance meeting. However, when Ellie arrives at the address, she discovers that she accidentally came to Donald's house. Confused, Ellie comes up with a story about buying a house with her fiancé. Then she runs out into the street in a hurry, forgetting Viburnum in the house. Moments later, the girl stumbles upon Simon, who immediately recognizes her and invites the girl to be dad, but either gets so nervous that he gets drunk and starts hanging out Simon with his terrible English accent. The date doesn't go according to plan and the girl returns home alone. Hours later, the couple are having fun on the roof and Colin tells Ellie that her next target is Jerry, a guy she despises. But since the girl has no other options, she agrees. In the morning, Ellie goes to Jerry's puppet show with Colin and his nephew girl. Tries to talk to her ex-boyfriend, but since Jerry is still obsessed with Daisy's sister, the conversation is not set and Ellie immediately leaves. A few hours later, Daisy meets up with Ellie because she is afraid to admit to her mother that she will invite her father to the wedding. After hearing the news about the father, the girl's mother gets angry and says that in this case she will not come. After a bad meeting, Ellie tells Daisy that she is going to fly to Miami to meet Barrett, one of her exes who has become a gynecologist. A couple of days later, Ellie walks into Barrett's office and is happy to see her, but he can't remember her until the girl spreads her legs. Frustrated, Ellie returns home. Fortunately, Colin encourages her to tell her that he found the volumes of The Politician from Washington, and the girl decides to fly for him the next day so as not to waste time. Upon arrival, Washington ally once again stumbles upon Donald and the guy begins to suspect that she is chasing him. A little later, Ellie comes to the library where she finds volumes. The girl extremely awkwardly arranges their meeting, but everything goes well and she calls Colin to tell him about what happened and about the fact that he invited her to dinner, and even bought her a dress. Colin shows that he is jealous but says nothing. Ellie goes out to dinner with Tom tonight and everything is amazing except for the fact that Tom is gay. Man wants Ellie to be his wife for cover because he wants to run for president. Heartbroken, Ellie returns home, where she is happily greeted by Colin. The guy is trying in every possible way to cheer up the girl, and when she says now she has no one to go to the wedding with Daisy, Colin offers to go with her, to which she agrees. A little later, the couple goes to the basketball court, where Colin once worked and spend time there playing strip goat. But everything is spoiled by a guard who did not appear on time. Luckily, the couple managed to escape. At home, Colin draws attention to the fact that all his shirts constantly picking up girls, to which Ellie replies if he had less casual relationships he would keep his shirts. And then Colin decides to take his shirt straight from Ellie, what eventually leading to a kiss. However, the matter never comes to love pleasures. In the morning, Ellie wakes up earlier than Colin to have time to clean up, but the guy is already awake and says that she looks amazing. Colin offers to make breakfast, but Ellie remembers that she has to meet Daisy at the flower shop. Having met with her friends, Ellie says that she will come to the wedding with Colin, but the girls warn her that this is not the best choice because the guy has a reputation as a womanizer and you should not sleep with him, let alone meet. When Ellie comes home and works on her sculptures, she finds in Colin's phone information about Jake, her first ex, who hid Colin from her. The girl is angry with the guy and does not want to see him anymore because he lied to her. After that, Ellie leaves Jake a voicemail reminding her of herself. A girl with trepidation prepares for a date and soon they meet. Ellie looks at Jake enthusiastically and doesn't even notice how her hair is on fire. Quickly getting rid of them, the girl welcomes Jake and has a wonderful time at dinner. Ellie then invites him to her house and shows him her sculptures. After which they kiss passionately. The next day, Ellie and Daisy meet at their mother's house to break the news that Dad will have his young girlfriend, but this news does not upset Mom in any way because she is more interested in Ellie coming along with Jake. Attitudes of young people begin to develop and they officially begin to meet. While Colin still yearns for Ellie. On the day of the wedding, Daisy, Colin and Ellie accidentally run into each other, and it turns out that Colin is going to another wedding that Ellie knows nothing about. Arriving at the wedding, Ellie is having a great time and for the first time in a long time, sincerely communicates with her father. Then she dances with Jack and decides to tell the guy that he is not the first person she has slept with. However, he is not worried about this and says that it doesn't matter if he is her last. After which he invites her to go on a business trip with him for 6 months, but the girl was clearly not ready for such a turn of events. During the acceptance speech, Allie realizes that Jack is not the person she wants to be with. She sadly confesses this to him, saying that he is too perfect for her. Jake walks away upset and Ellie musters up the courage to tell her mother the truth. Naturally, Mom gets mad and scolds Ellie for missing out on such a man, but a fed-up Ellie says she loves Colin, who appreciates her for who she is with all her cons. The situation is relieved by Daisy, who reports that she is in her 4th month of pregnancy and all attention turns to her. Taking advantage of Ellie's opportunity to run away with the wedding to find Colin. Having visited all kinds of weddings in the city, the girl finally gets to the one where Colin is noticed, but at the very entrance she is set up by security. Not at a loss, the girl decides to climb over the fence to get into the wedding. Ellie gets on stage and tries to talk to Colin, but the guy is probably busy with something. Then Ellie breaks the performance and takes Colin to talk. The guy is at a loss and asks why she is doing this. Ellie admits that she was wrong, she was just afraid that Colin would be another ex and her heart would be broken. Colin also apologizes for hiding information about Jake from her, but luckily the two forgive each other. After some time, Ellie and Colin are basking in bed when suddenly a voice message arrives on the answering machine from one of her exes, which says that they never made love because the girl was notably drunk and passed out in the shower. Joyful Ellie understands that Colin is the same number 20 on her list in the hope that he will be the last, and this ends the film. Thank you for watching to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and watch our next videos.